This is what a yard looks like when it hasn't been maintained in well over a week because you're out of town on vacation. And this is what it looks like and what happens when you don't want to accept the reality of having to come back from said vacation. First order of business before we even get into today's topic, I gotta do a bit of maintenance on this yard. It's long overdue, so without further delay, let's get into that. Kind of better. At least it doesn't look overgrown and out of control. It kind of looks like I mowed a little too low. It looks like I kind of scalped it down, but it'll bounce back. It's a healthy lawn. I'm sure it'll get back to its nice, big, beautiful, green, luscious self very soon. But enough about the front yard. On to today's topic, fertilizing the fescue in the back. Just to give you a little peek behind the curtain, if you will, episodes 28 and 29. 28 was prep for overseeding, and 29, our last video, was the actual overseeding of the backyard. Those were shot in the same day, but I wanted to break them up and make separate videos out of those so that it's not one long video and instead two short, concise videos with different subject matters. But more importantly, it was to buy myself some time to let my seed get down into the soil and start to germinate. And I'm happy to report, let me just show you. There are nice little rows all through the backyard where we aerated and overseeded, and the seed is starting to get down and germinate. It's starting to take. So we're seeing some results. That's good, happy about it. Right here is a really good example. We got a row right here, and some right here. This is where the aerator punched holes into the soil. The seeds got down in there. They started to germinate and establish themselves, and now they're starting to sprout out of the ground. So success. Now it's the same kind of story on this side with the Bradford pears. In the backyard, we have tiny little rows where the aerator punched holes into the soil. The seeds got down in there, they've germinated, they're starting to thrive and establish themselves. But I want to do something today to help make it thrive even more, and that's give it a little bit of fertilizer. And as usual, before I actually go through the process of fertilizing back here, I wanted to talk about how to fertilize tall fescue, like what I've put down on this side and the back. Just like other grass types, fescue needs some kind of combination of nitrogen, phosphorus, and potassium to help make it thrive. The difference is the newly seeded fescue grass seed that I've put down needs a bit of a different combination of those three elements than established lawns. Most fertilizers that are out there are not suited or formulated to fit the needs of newly seeded fescue seeds. So working with the customer service staff and after doing a bit of research, we found that you need a formulated starter fertilizer or even an organic fertilizer that has a slow release formula to fit the needs of our fescue seed that we've put down. One thing that's really important to note is to not use a weed and feed that you would traditionally use in an established lawn. Weed and feed fertilizers have a weed preventative measure in them along with a fertilizer, but they can severely damage seedlings or even the seeds that haven't even sprouted yet. So don't use these. Avoid them at all costs. What I'm gonna do today is I'm mixing some starter fertilizer with some organic slow release fertilizer to really try to help my seedlings strengthen their root systems and continue to thrive in the yard. Our customer service staff recommends that after about 4 to 8 weeks after my fescue seeds have germinated and my seedlings are doing really good, to go through and hit it with another round of fertilizer. But the difference with this second application when I get to it is I'm not gonna continue to use a starter fertilizer. The high phosphorus rate that comes in most starter fertilizers, although it's great for seeds to get themselves to germinate, after they've established themselves, you don't need the phosphorus at such a high rate that most starter fertilizers offer. Instead, make the switch to a more traditional type fertilizer. Better than that, move over to an organic slow release type fertilizer. Now that I've put all that out there, it's time to bust out my granule spreader and start throwing down some fertilizer. Now, we've got a bit of a situation back here before I even start walking around with my spreader. while I am trying to throw down some fertilizer to feed our grass seed, I also still have a bunch of weeds back here that's also gonna be getting that dose of fertilizer. The problem here is I do wanna get rid of the weeds and I am trying to get the grass to grow back here, but I can't spray for the weeds while I'm still trying to get the seeds to get down and germinate. But I wanna get rid of the weeds, but I want the grass to grow. You kind of see where I'm going with this. What I've opted to do, put down the fertilizer anyway, let the weeds in the grass grow, and tackle it next season. I'm just gonna hope for the best after this fertilizer application and just kind of see where we end up. So let's get to it. Fertilizer's in the spreader. Spreader is calibrated, we're ready to go. Here's something I haven't talked about in previous videos that people have made mention in the comments. What I'm gonna do is make passes going back and forth this way, and then I'll overlap and make passes going this way. That way I make sure to get the most maximum coverage of my fertilizer as possible. So let's get to it. Fertilizer's down, now for the next step. Water it in. I know what some of you are thinking, I've even seen it in some of the comments, is it still a little bit too early to be doing what I'm doing back here? The answer, probably. I'm not sure. Time will tell. Like I had mentioned in previous videos, I'm trying to get ahead of the curve, trying to be ahead of the game and do things a little bit early before next season. But what I'm trying to do with these videos is release them early to get your gears thinking and get you in the mindset of doing fall preparation to have success through fall and winter, and even more success in spring and summer. So by doing these things early in my yard, they're either gonna work or they're gonna fail. Time will tell, we'll see. But again, I'm just trying to get all of you to get your minds thinking about what your yard needs. Call your extension office, call our customer service staff, figure out a plan for your own yard and implement it. It's a learning curve. I'm figuring this out. I'm learning along with all of you, leaning on the customer service staff to figure out the do's and don'ts when it comes to lawn care. Hopefully I'm successful, we'll see. I'm not sure, but I'm learning a lot. I hope you are too. I hope you liked this video. If you did, hit the thumbs up. If you have any other further questions, leave them in the comments section below, email the customer service staff, or pick up the phone, give us a call. That's it for this one. If you're not already, subscribe to the channel by clicking this button. You can click this playlist to see all of the videos in the Do My Own Lawn Care series, and click this playlist to see all the videos in the Do My Own Gardening series. Not so sure this hat's gonna make a return in the next video, but hey, as always, thanks for watching.